Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Jack Massey springs a bit of an upset, outpoints unanimously Isaac Chamberlain over 12, becomes the Commonwealth and EBU Cruiserweight champion. The Commonwealth champ going in was Isaac Chamberlain, and the EBU title was vacant. And yeah, it's considered an upset, but this was a tough, grueling fight. And two of the judges had it 115, 113 for Massey, which is what I had it. One of them had it 116, 112. What's that, 8-4 in rounds? Maybe a little bit wide. But you know what? You could have scored it a draw. This was a tough fight. And when you've got two fighters who have contrasting styles, in the case of Massey, very conventional, orthodox fighter, both orthodox stance, but I mean, you know, a very sort of textbook fighter. And you've got Chamberlain, who's a little bit looser, a little bit more languid and very busy, but kind of switches gears a lot, whereas Massey is more of a steady Eddie. The idea is, of course, to break up the rhythm of the conventional textbook guy who likes to fight at a set pace. Or if you are that guy who has the textbook style, you want to impose that on the guy with the more varied, disjointed style and kind of stop him from moving in and out of those gears. So I think, generally speaking, Massey probably for maybe, I mean, I had 7-5 in rounds. Yeah, looking back, because I always do these videos after I've just watched the fight. I never like to second guess myself, and I never like to, you know, try and rewrite history even subconsciously in my head. And yeah, looking back, I do think that Massey probably imposed his style a bit more. His style was a bit more successful. Now, to start with, in the opening round, it was Chamberlain that came out jabbing very, very front-footed, very busy. Massey was having a look at him. In the first or second round, I can't remember which one it was, but Massey landed a terrific left hook to the body. And he would carry on landing that left hook, but not with enough frequency for me. He wasn't throwing it enough. I know it's easier said than done, but everything in a boxing ring is easier said than done. In the case of Chamberlain, I felt that he himself, by the way, was doing some good body work. I have to say that. But I felt that the word that the commentators were using was compact, which I think is a fair comment. The more compact style of Massey was more accurate and a bit sharper, whereas Chamberlain he had the output, he had more volume. But there's no doubt the pendulum was going this way and that way. And for the first 6 rounds, there were a lot of swing rounds. Three of the rounds were probably swing rounds. And then in the 8th round, I think it was, Chamberlain really got his engine running and was very, very busy. I mean, the volume was terrific, and he was slinging all sorts of punches from all angles. And for the first time, Massey looked like he was sagging. And at the end of that 8th round, his face was a mask of blood coming out the nose and the mouth. And you thought, I wonder if that's the turning point. Well, those are the moments that can make or break you, because Chamberlain was clearly in the ascendancy. Massey, I think, got a good talking to, shall we say, from Joe Gallagher in the corner. And it was getting to the point where he needed that, because he could have gone under, he could have sank. But he came out in the 9th round and got his boxing back together, went back to that conventional stance. Chamberlain was still coming forward and trying to outwork him, and at times was outworking him. But suddenly Massey was finding that, again, that steady Eddie rhythm. Lots of jabs, firing good hooks, crosses. He was clipping Isaac, and Isaac's face showed it as well. I think on the left eye, he had quite a bit of swelling under the eye. But the rounds were still relatively close. Then we got down to the last quarter of the fight, the last 3 rounds of 10, 11, 12. And I thought you couldn't help but feel the fight's there to be won by either man. But I definitely think that Massey was the one who won that section of the fight, and with it, the titles, I think. I think he'd found his groove, he's found his rhythm, and he was able to ping Chamberlain, who was still coming forward, still trying to impose his will on Jack Massey. But Massey kept it together and boxed really quite beautifully at times. Lots of lovely jabs, and he was firing combinations. Again, I think if he'd gone to the body a bit more throughout the whole fight, it might have made it a bit of an easier night for him. But Chamberlain never stopped trying at all. And this was a fight which, to be honest with you, has rematch written all over it. Very, very entertaining fight, very grueling fight. It wasn't explosive, but it was a grueling, tough fight. And well done to Jack Massey. Massey, of course, last year was taking Joseph Parker the 10-round distance and winning rounds off him. It wasn't the best version of Parker, but Parker's a heavyweight. I mean, Massey's a cruiser. I think a lot of people expected Parker just smash through Massey. This is a very tough, very well-schooled fighter who doesn't do anything spectacularly but does everything well, as the old cliche goes. And for Chamberlain at 30, I think a rematch of this fight would be a good thing. But he gave up his British title to take on the EBU, to have a go at the EBU title, which was vacant. He's got good people behind him, so maybe he'll get another run at the title. For Massey, who's a year older at 31, he's tall cruiserweight. He's listed at 6'4". Chamberlain's listed at 6'2". They look roughly the same height, to be honest. But neither of them is really massive cruiserweights. Like some of them, like Iracolis, for example, when he was at Cruise, he was boiling himself down, probably too much. These guys are good-sized cruiserweights. They're not, certainly not heavyweights. You wouldn't even put them in the bridgerweight category if you want to class that as a valid, as a valid weight category, but a weight division. But I would say they both need to, certainly Chamberlain needs to stick around in the cruiserweight division and maybe make another run for a title. But for Massey, he's got that EBU title, maybe a defence or two, and then look for world honours. But well done, Jack Massey. And he did it in, Isaac's from Brixton. This was in Crystal Palace, South London. So yeah, good win for Jack Massey. So what did you think of the fight? Did you agree with the decision? Let me know your opinions, and of course, comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the subscribe button. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. And also, if you could hit the like button, that would be appreciative too. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a lot more boxing to come. I'll get you later. Bye for now.